Hey everybody, it's your good friend Todd and Barnett here. I'm back from the Tim Hortons parking lot. I had to go to what was essentially Burger King to get a couple of items, and I was like, oh my god, tonight's dinner. Leftover food from the Chinese from last night. It was okay, but I'm not really big on leftovers, but it was edible, I guess. Um, but anyway, I'm here to talk about, um, well, first of all, I just want to talk about a lot of stuff, but I just want to say this is my second video, so if anybody is joining in, hey everybody, this is the state of Michigan. Like I said, this is awesome, and I'm glad that people are tuning in. I hope my good friend Jessica Ling joins us because she wanted to be on the live streaming of this, and she's going to get it. So I thought, hell with it. I'll just do 2 live streams tonight. So this is like a follow-up to the first one I just did. And this is my second one. So, yes, I love live streaming. This is really cool. So if I see a cop on the road, I will live stream it. If I see somebody who's so much as innocent when it comes to the war on drugs, I'm going to be a pesty libertarian journalist slash shitster of epidemic proportions. So this is going to be great. If I see somebody arrested so much as a piece of a little plant that was, planted on them, I'm your man. That's it. Right there, and before you know it. Hey, January, great of you to join us. Hey, Rocky, how's it going? Awesome. It's awesome. I guess word's getting out that I'm live streaming now on my own wall and everything, so that's great. Oh boy, a lot of stuff I want to talk about. So many topics, so many things I wanted to discuss. Well, I wanted to talk about what's going on here in the state of Michigan. Oh yeah. Is my connection weak? Damn. Am I losing anybody? So my connection, I guess, might be a little weak here. So, but anyway, so if my connection is weak, I apologize for anybody if you can watch me or whatever. Let's see here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to see about getting inside. Okay, here we go. Now the connection is doing better. Come on in back, everybody. Sorry about that. My connection was getting choppy there for a few seconds, so don't know why. I got AT&T Uverse, but then again, sometimes it's a piece of shit. Sometimes it's great. It depends. It fluctuates between back and forth. I mean, Xfinity would have been just as bad, so go figure. So let's see here. A lot of stuff I wanted to talk about, like I said before. Okay, I guess the one thing I want to talk about is, well, the National Convention's coming up in Orlando, and unfortunately I'm not going to be able to go. I was considering starting up a GoFundMe page at one point because that's what seems to be the big thing nowadays. Do a GoFundMe page and whatnot. And I was going to do it, but then again, I thought, well, it's inundated and some people just already have their own GoFundMe pages. I'm wondering if they're getting shitloads of cash for it. So I wasn't able to make it to my state convention. I probably should have done a GoFundMe page months ago, maybe a Kickstarter thing. But then again, that's more for like movie making and music projects and whatnot. And I don't know. I just don't like to be the kind of person who's begging for money. And, that sounds desperate. That sounds like a welfare type attitude. I'm not the kind of person who likes to do that. I don't, I only collect a certain amount of money a month because of my physical conditions and whatnot. So, I've got medical conditions up the roof. I could probably go into great lengths. I could probably show you a shitload of stuff, of medications that I'm on and whatnot. So it's really nasty. But I was going to go to the state convention at one point, and I said, no, I can't do it because I don't know. I just don't like asking for money. But then again, if I had to go, if I had to do that sort of thing, yeah, I probably would have asked for money, but only as a last resort. Um, I'm not very good at figuring out Bitcoin. Maybe somebody can show me how to do that. I'm not very good at certain things because I'm not that savvy at it. I figured out how to do the live streaming thing here, and it's working out beautifully. So I think it's going to work out pretty well. Hey, Jason, how's it going? Awesome, dude. Tell me what you're up to. January, talk, girl. What's going on with you? Rocky, how's it going? How's it hanging? I wanted to discuss what I think has gone wrong in the state of Michigan. Before I get into that, this is just my final comments on the Libertarian State Convention. I'm very happy overall with the productivity that came out of it. I think some of the stuff that I've heard is good. Some other things need work. Like I said before, I was like, what the hell? Why did the Gary Johnson supporters prevent Austin Peterson from having some additional time to convince the delegates that he's the right man for the nomination to be president? Why they blocked him, I don't know why. I know he had another event that he had to fly out to at around 3. I know that he was busy off his ass going to another event that was in the East Coast area or something. So I just don't get it myself. So, but it is what it is. Let's see here. Wow. Some really, really cool stuff is happening here. I know that there is, some stuff happening here in Michigan. A lot of it not so good, and very little of it so good. I don't like Governor Snyder. I thought Governor Granholm was worse. I thought Governor Granholm was terrible as a governor, as a Democrat, as, who was more along the lines of a centrist Democrat in many ways and not so much as a liberal. I mean, she was very, very weak on, say, pot legalization or medical marijuana. She really didn't want to jump on that bandwagon. The Democrats will only go on the ending the war on drugs issue if it's politically convenient for them to do so, and they don't want to legalize it. I'm going to say it again. Democrats don't want to legalize drugs. They want to keep drugs made illegal so that you would have to go and get it illegally through a black market, which is a bad thing. Hi, Tracy. How's it going, hun? How you doing? So that's why Democrats don't want to do this stuff, right? They're just opportunity deniers. They say they care about the poor. They couldn't give two shits about the poor. They say they care about helping the poor, not to be taken advantage of by big corporations and whatnot. If that were true, if that were fucking true, they would not be pushing for a $15 an hour minimum wage. And by the way, it's been announced that a number of your fast food companies, including Wendy's, and since big corporations don't care about the fast food workers anyway, they're just the ones who, oh no, not again. My live connection is pretty weak. Damn it. Anyway, here, I'm going to go into the house here. I'm going to take you with me. And I want people to see what my house looks like when I'm actually kind of sort of busy, or not so busy as the case may be. The perils of having a weak connection when you're driving in a car. So here we go. Oh, okay, here we go. But I'm taking the stuff in with me to the inside the house anyway. So hold on. Got it. Oh yeah, here we go. All right. So this is my home, which is owned by my mom. I live with my mom, so everybody who wants to know what I'm doing, that's what I'm doing these days. And it's hard to live by yourself when you're underemployed and unemployed at the same time. So here you go. And let's see, am I forgetting anything else? No, I'm not. So this is what happens. And unfortunately, Democrats don't like to admit this, but, this is what happens, and ta-da, here we go. This is my home. I know. All right. And I'll just leave the car outside for a minute. Usually we put the car in the garage. Let's see here. So, what was I saying? Where was I? Okay, so they don't really care about the poor as much because they use them for political purposes, and after that's over, then they disappear. And where are the Democrats and their beloved poor then? But then again, the Republicans claim to be for small business, but they're not for small business. They're for the big business, but then again, they can turn on the big business even at any time, and they don't really owe them anything. So, that being said, here I am, and ta-da, here I am, people. So, I made it inside the house. Yay! Okay, so, the Democrats really here in the state have screwed the pooch, but right now, we're talking economically because they say that, oh, Obama's doing such a great job. But, you know, we've seen, you know, corporate profits being slashed, retail jobs being slashed across the board. Ours are being cut thanks to Obamacare and so many different regulations, including the high minimum wage. Oh, and must I point out that you've got a lot of different stuff going on through the roof that is just crazy. Now it turns out that they're going to be using robots to serve at these high, you know, these places. Hey, Derek, what's up, dude? So these robots, they're being served in fast food jobs. They're coming, man. They're going to be taking over fast food because everybody's campaigning. We want $15 an hour. Bye. See ya. Nice knowing ya. Send us a greeting card or a postcard or an email. But that's what happens. So, and you know, they're doing this, and now it was reported on TV, believe it or not, that Royal Caribbean, the cruise liner, is going to have robotic bartenders. Can you believe that now? Robotic bartenders. Yay! Oh yeah. So that's what happens. The costs of the tickets for, you know, like the passes and the costs for a week-long cruise and everything, they're going to go through the roof. They're going to go and be so expensive. So expensive. You know, can you imagine a robotic bartender coming up to you? Hello, sir. Would you like a martini? And then you'll be saying, I want a Long Island iced tea, please. So, and it's going to be the same way in fast food, you know, that you're going to be going with, you know, I'll tell you, man, you know, this is great, you know. Hey, Derek, awesome, man. Hey, Keith, buddy, great to see you too. Yeah, you know, which is another thing I'm going to be bringing up in a second here. But this is what happens, you know, the economy here in Michigan is shit. The high costs of healthcare are going through the roof. Largely, the lion's share of it is coming from Obamacare, but the other part of it is because of taxes, regulations, and the incredible amount of spending. Kids, anybody ever bothered to look at the latest figures coming from the debt clock? I mean, we're in trillions of dollars in debt. Okay? I'm sorry, you know, how can you justify that? How can you? How can anybody justify that? Give me a break. Throw me a bone here. Try to justify that, you know, with that sort of thing. You know what, Michael, you're right. I think Futurama did do that joke. Isaac. Yeah, I think you're right about that. You know, I think this whole thing with, you know, with all of these things that are happening here, we've got so many issues, so many problems that are facing the country right now. It feels like the country is going to explode. And next thing you know, you see all this stuff happening, but you're trying to figure out why. Some people are trying to figure it out, like, oh, well, gee, maybe if we just elect the right Democrats or the right Republican, well, America will be greater again as usual. Really? Ain't gonna happen. So, yes, we're going to do this. We're going to have, you know, we're going to have robotic jobs and fast food. Next thing you know, it's going to be happening at your local bookstore or your local clothing shop. Or it's going to happen, it's going to spread out throughout the entire market and everything. So it's going to bomb. It's going to bomb badly. So when you look at what's happening here in the state, it sucks. It really sucks. It's happening to all the states like New Hampshire. It's happened. Well, New Hampshire is a little freer because it's the, the live free or die state. Although I'm poised to say that the Free State Project is doing that much better these days. They were when they first started out back in 2003 when they started out with that group, but now it's kind of sort of gone down the toilet. But everywhere, you see Trump going everywhere. You see Bernie Sanders promising all sorts of free stuff for Michigan. You had so many people here in Michigan on the Democratic side who voted for Sanders. Yeah. And this is the big thing, I mean, so many robots. I mean, I'm seeing the same shit that happened during the 2000 campaigns. Change, except they won't even define what change is half the time. So, it's nuts. It's insane. It's pure insanity. How can people think like that? How can you trust Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders is like, he's kind of like the shitty burger that you get at a very shitty fast food place that doesn't even give you the right the right drink, whether it's Coca-Cola or Sprite or Dr. Pepper. I mean, he's promising all these free stuff. This is the guy who could be a blood relative to Colonel Sanders. I'm serious, folks. This is a guy who could be a blood relative to Colonel Harlan Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken fame. Or worse yet, here's another thought. Well, he could be a duplicate of that heckler from the Muppet Show, I mean, I don't know. He looks a lot like the heckler, one of the two critics from the balcony. So he's going to do all this stuff. He's going to push all this stuff. So it's like exactly, Derek. Exactly, Michael. I mean, he is the fifth grader that promises to end all homework. I can't wait for this. I cannot wait for this for an old Jewish guy like him, okay? I can't wait for him to say, how about free condoms and birth control for every single woman who doesn't want to get pregnant, at the pharmacies? How about free groceries for 20 years, at the grocery store? You just hand them a ticket and it's paid for by the government, But that's what Bernie Sanders is. And Hillary, I'm sorry, but when you look at Hillary Clinton, what do you see? What do you see? I see a chick who looks like a fucking rat. Or worse, a raccoon. Okay? I mean, this is a chick who promises, she's a neocon. She's not really a true socialist or anything, although she kind of stops halfway through it. Bernie Sanders isn't a true socialist. He's just, using that argument to make himself look important. Self-importance. He's trying to be relevant in the political discourse. He's trying to look and feel important, like, well, I'm Bernie Sanders. I'm here to promise you a free home. And while I'm at it, free buckets of chicken from Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, this is what the guy thinks, right? Right. So this is what the guy does. And, oh man, I mean, I could go on and on about this all day and all night if I wanted to. But that's what's happening here in Michigan. You've got a lot of Bernie supporters who supported him. That's why he won in Michigan. That's why Hillary lost. She's really an elderly chick by now. I'm not trying to be ageist here, but this is something right here, with this guy, Bernie Sanders. He's the millennials' Ron Paul of the left. He is. And I supported Ron Paul in 2008 and 2012. Think about it, people. I did. I supported Ron Paul. Yeah. I mean, what can I say? Man, this is great. We got 7 viewers. If I keep this up, my viewership is going to increase before you know it. Let's make it all the way to hundreds. But and anyway, I have decided to throw my next topic here. I decided to throw my hat into the Macomb County Libertarian Party chair ring, and I am going to be running for Macomb LP chair. The reason being, the old Macomb LP has gotten stagnant. It's become stale. It's stifled with a lot of bureaucracy right now. The present chair is Keith Edwards. I've known him for years. And this is the guy who was such an asshole to me back in the aughts. I mean, the guy really was an asshole. And I came this close. I mean, I was this close to really hating his guts for a long time, but I thought, nah, I'm not going to do that. So, but anyway, he is a bullshitter, he is, he's the worst thing that's happened to this, to this local LP. And the reason being, he is an officer of a local party. I don't think he's been a member of the state and national for years, because I remember when I came back to the party at one point in 2008, I said, or maybe it was it was sometime around 2008 I came back. It was before the national convention. Before they elected Bob Barr, who was a fucking toad of epic proportions. He said, well, because I said that I allowed my dues to lapse. And he said, well, technically, you are not a member. Once you allow your dues to lapse, you're not a member. So technically, you're not a member of the LP. And I'm like, fuck you. So I said, so that's why I want to get rid of him. Not so much because of that. I don't hate him largely because of that. The guy is a Donald Trump supporter. It is a conflict of interest. This is the reason I want to get rid of him. He is supporting Donald Trump. This man is a Libertarian Party's worst nightmare, okay? This is a guy who, for whatever reason, okay, he is a Libertarian Party officer, the chair of a local Libertarian Party, in this case, Macomb County, and he's supporting a Republican presumptive nominee. I don't even know why they're calling it a presumptive nominee. He is the nominee. Reince Priebus, the national GOP chair, said that he is the nominee, and therefore Cruz and Kasich dropped out. So as far as I'm concerned, he is the nominee. And I'm like, dude, you know, why are you supporting Donald Trump? I'm like, I want to put my hands around this guy and say, why are you defending him? This is a big mistake. You are supporting a candidate who is anti-libertarian in so many different ways. He is the opposite of Ron Paul. When I supported Ron Paul in 2008 and 2012, he was a great candidate. He was a speaker for liberty. He was awesome. Rand Paul, not so much. His son was too conservative just to be libertarian. Sad to say. But we're talking about Donald Trump and the local chair of a county party, whatever. I mean, I'm sorry, but I can't go along with that. So that's why I'm running against him. And Derek, if you want to help me with that, you are more than welcome to, dude. I would welcome it. I would welcome any help from the people in the Macomb County area to help me with this. This would be great, you know, because last I heard, Kim McCurry, the vice chair of the Libertarian Party of Michigan, that is the Libertarian Executive Committee, decided, well, I'm going to talk to Bill Jeleno, who is the new state chair. He's been a state chair before, but he decided to do it again for whatever reason. And she chose not to run again for chair, but she chose vice chair. And she took over, fundamentally, she took over Jeff Wood's spot. Jeff Wood happens to be an anarchist, by the way. And Jeff Wood is supporting Darrell W. Perry, Darrell W. Perry was at one time the chair of the Boston Tea Party when it was online back in 2012. And because party supporters abandoned the party then, it was an online party, it was a bad idea. And he decided to disband it. I guess I don't think he even went up to the party founder, Tom Knapp, for any permission. He just said, fuck it. I'll just, close it down. So now Darrell W. Perry says he wants to abolish government, and he says, I'll only accept Bitcoin, the electronic currency, which is very popular among anarcho-capitalists, capitalists, and even anarchists, self-described anarchists within the liberty movement. And I'm thinking, dude, you are limiting yourself. A lot of people don't know what Bitcoin is. Why would you want to accept only Bitcoin? People still use cash. They're going to use credit cards. They're going to use whatever method of payment works for them. If they want to use Apple Pay, if they want to use something as simple as, say, PayPal, they're going to use it. And, for whatever reason, he's very pig-headed, very stubborn. Darrell W. Perry and I are not good friends. We used to be friends. He used to be on my show, Liberty Cap Talk Live, when I was far more doing actively on it. And he was a nice guy. But then he stopped talking to me. And he stopped talking to me because, well, it was nothing that you did, Todd. I remember kind of sort of the exact words. He said, it wasn't anything specific that you did, Todd. It's because you are a drama queen. Yeah, I am a drama queen. Your point. You make it sound like it's a bad thing. So being a drama queen, I guess, is a bad thing, right? So that's what happens. And, hey, Jason, thanks for joining us, dude. You are awesome. It's really awesome hearing from you. Those of you who are joining in, these three people who joined this chat. I graduated with them from Anchor Bay High School in 1993. And this is my generation, Generation X. And, yes, I'm a drama queen, Derek. It is true. I can put on any performance. But of course, I was an actor in high school. And I'm still wanting to get back into the acting, so drama queen it is. And I wear that honorably and happily, like a badge on my arm here. So this is what happens. This is the guy who says, Daryl W. Perry he says, well, he didn't want to talk to me anymore. And at the time, I should have told him to fuck you, but I didn't. So I basically was trying to be nice to him about it. I said some things that now I'm thinking maybe I should have told him to go fuck himself, but nah. But it's old hat, it's old news, so that's right. That's right, man. Gen X. We're the ones that came up with great shit during our generation. We're the ones, I'm telling you right now, we had Nirvana, we had MC Hammer, we had Prince, although unfortunately he just passed away this year. Poor Prince. Anyway, it was just it's crazy. I mean, Prince. He was awesome. He had, the new power generation. We can get into that if you want, but it's that's what I'm doing. So I just want to say, Derek, you are the man. Michael, you're a great guy. Generation Y for the win. Yeah. You millennials. We can teach you a thing or two. So we're the old timers. But hey, my ticker is still going, and I can go putt. Anyway, but this is what a lot of people say, I will tell you right now that, a lot of great stuff happened, during my generation, and a lot of great things happened so far. And since then, music has gotten terrible over the years. And I mean, it's like, what? Fucking auto-tune? Seriously? We didn't have auto-tune, and our music sounded pretty fucking good, didn't it, Derek? Didn't it, Jason? Didn't it, Dan? I mean, our music back then was the shit. We were, we did some awesome stuff, dude. So I'm telling you, man, I'm telling you, knock on wood, we are the real deal. So this is now getting back to the topic at hand. Macomb LP, yes, I'm running for chair once again. So those of you who haven't heard yet, yes, I'm running for it. I'm throwing my hat into the ring, and I will be bringing out libertarianism throughout the entire county, and we will be doing a lot of activities. We'll do Operation Politically Homeless, those cards that you get from advocates for small government. And you just got to answer 5 questions economically and 5 questions socially. And depending on the answers, we'll see if you're a liberal, a conservative, a moderate, or a libertarian, or if you are a socialist or a fascist. It's that easy. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be great. So in the spirit of things, wow, it's been over 40 minutes right now. Damn, I'm doing such a good job. I am busting down barriers tonight. Wow. I could do a podcast or a vidcast of this easily, just like that. And it would be far more exciting, right? I would have my camera set up and everything, and do a lot of amazing shit on here. I wish we had this stuff when we were growing up. Can you imagine, going to class one day, Derek, yep, I'll be there. I'm on my way. Oh, check out this link from this newspaper. So I'll tell you, man, this is the guy who will do it. And, and it will be in HD. And, so this is a great show. This is a great opportunity for people to know that, YouTube was a great start and everything, but people will be listening to us and they will be responding to us, man. Yes, I'm the man. Hashtag real shit. That's right. So what you saw before the first episode, it was like a test run. This is like the pilot type show I would be doing tonight. So think of this way. Tonight is the pilot for Toddcast video or Todd Videocast or whatever you want to call it, but or the real deal with Todd Andrew Barnett or something. Because my old show, Liberty Cap Talk Live, it's coming to an end rapidly, but this is a new a new evolution in video chatting and whatnot. I am supporting Austin Peterson for president. Yes, I'm very happy. And this is a spokesperson time for me to say, Toddcast. That's exactly it. So, that's exactly it, Derek. So, I'll tell you right now, I am supporting Austin Peterson for president. He's on the Libertarian ticket right now. You can find him on Twitter at AP for LP. You can find him on Facebook. Austin Peterson for president, or just Austin Wade. I'm friends with the guy. If you want to know more about him, go to his campaign site as www.austinpeterson, AustinPetersen, 2016 2016.com. And check out his site. If you like what he has to offer and everything, get involved. I know some people are supporting John McAfee. You know, that's cool. Okay, I can deal with that. This is the guy who's married a prostitute and he's still doing drugs, man. That's awesome. Wow. I don't know how the voters will feel about that, but that would be interesting. Um, because I can see it now. Doobies, 2 for the price of 1 at CVS Pharmacy or at Kroger. So there you have it. This is great as far as I'm concerned. And the only person, now I know there are some people who are voting for Gary Johnson, the 2-term governor of New Mexico. Okay, fine. I thought he was a big mistake to support the last time around. I did support him then after Ron Paul pulled out. I regret having supported the guy because he really screwed us over on the ballot access, and I had to write him in, and my vote never did count. So it's like, it's going to be interesting to see how that happens. Wait a second, Michael. How dare you? She's a nice lady. LOL. So, yeah, I'm kidding, Michael. Anyway, but this is what happens when you have, do you want to support a real candidate versus Bernie, Hillary, or Trump, whose last name sounds like dump? As in I took a dump. Yeah, he is kind of a billionaire, He's the guy who invented, Derek, believe it or not. He's the guy who invented the McAfee antivirus program. So he says he wants to install himself into the White House. Does that mean he'll uninstall government? Wow, that's a very unique way of putting it there. So that would be very interesting to see, right? So that would be an interesting thing to look at, So in that case, we are going to take a look at those things going around. Yes, McAfee is a great guy. I know a number of people have supported McAfee. Avens O'Brien, my best bud in California. She's a feminist, a libertarian feminist. I think she's more along the lines like halfway between a Wendy McElroy and a Sharon Presley feminist. But she's good friends with Austin. She writes for his blog, The Libertarian Republic. And it's a good blog. That news opinion site has been called a clickbait site. But you know something? You get the ads if you're not paying for, if you're not paying for the content. And if you want additional content on there, it's reasonable. It's like $5 a month. It's nothing, It's not really that big of a deal. So if you want to register with it and get a subscription to the site, then you can get rid of the ads. The thing about me is I have a blog myself. Hi, Taylor. Sweet dude, sweet. Austin Peterson supporter here. So anybody who wants to support Austin Peterson, please join him on the campaign. Get on the Austin Peterson train at www.AustinPetersen2016.com. He is awesome. Not much, man. How's it going with you? And please support Awesome Peterson. Now, I know some people will support John McAfee. Okay, that's fine. Some people will probably support Daryl W. Perry. Unfortunately, he's not the top of the ticket right now. You know, he's not on the top of the totem pole, if you want to put it that way. He's like way down, but I'm not supporting him. But I wish him luck. I just don't think he's going to get it. And let's see here. I know there's Mark Allen Feldman. I met him at the Libertarian Party of Michigan straw poll. By the way, you can find that on my YouTube channel, Liberty Cap Talk Live. The straw poll, I uploaded an HD version as well as an ST version on YouTube. Go to Liberty Cap Talk Live on YouTube and just watch the straw poll. And it's about 50 minutes long. Go and take a look at it, take a crack at it, you know, watch it all the way through. You can watch it anytime if you want to watch it, you know. It's on there permanently. Go for it. Please leave some comments. Let me know what you think. So, that being said, I think that's, boy, I did cover a lot of stuff today. So, all under in one single breath. So, with that being said, I will say this. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'm going to be doing this probably every night. I think I shall. So anyway, we're going to be talking about a lot of subjects, a lot of interesting stuff going on in the news, pop culture, movies, movie reviews, that sort of thing. How about it, folks? So if I go see a movie, I'll tell you about it. If I loved it, if I hated it, if it was great, if it sucked. There was one movie I just saw recently, and I wanted to point this out. I just saw Captain America Civil War. I saw it at the MJR Theater in my neck of the woods, and I'll tell you, it was awesome. I'm a big Marvel Comics fan. I've also had been for a long time a DC Comics fan, but I've been very disappointed with the DC movies. They all been sucking a lot lately, except for the TV shows. I'm a big, fan of Arrow on TV, The Flash, DC's, Legends of Tomorrow, and whatnot. And there are some really good libertarian elements that you could see in the DC verse. But more so in the Marvel verse. Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's aired its season finale tonight. And, I will tell you right now, I loved Captain America. It was Captain America. My mom loves him. You want to know why my mom loves him? Because he's a Christian and he's a patriot. To me, I love the guy more so than anything today that I ever have. Because in the movie, he did something that I never thought I would see. He's a libertarian now. He is against the state coming in. Whereas Iron Man, whom I thought was a libertarian, just did a double whammy and went, oh, I'm all for government intervention now. I'm all for it. And I was like, what the fuck? Really? So the movie was just awesome. Overall, I loved it. It was fantastic. Awesome, Derek, you're in. Cool. I just couldn't believe it. And I love the introduction of the Black Panther in the movie. There's going to be a Black Panther movie coming out. some great stuff coming out that I've heard in pop culture and film and entertainment we'll be discussing at some point. But also, one idea I had, because my best friend and I are starting up a new independent film studio. Can't go into all the details because we have to get our ducks in a row. So it's coming, folks. I'll let you know what the title. I'll let you know what it's called, and we're gonna make movies, and they're gonna be in a libertarian direction. I don't care. I don't care if George Clooney accuses me of being, a Republican. Nope, I'm a libertarian. There's a big difference, George. But I would love to see a different type of stuff coming on. I would love to see so many different movies coming out, and because I think that the comic book movies are becoming more pro-liberty, and more comic book movies are on the way. I would say this. I loved Captain America Civil War. It was sort of like a mini Avengers movie. I give it as a solid A. Solid A. Like the Fonz. A. A. So, that was the whole deal. But as far as Batman versus Superman, A New Dawn, or Dawn of Justice, I'm sorry. Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice. Sorry, I got the title a little bit wrong. My bad. I thought that movie was atrocious. That movie sucked. Jesse Eisenberg, Lex Luthor. Ben Affleck's acting as Batman and Bruce Wayne. Henry Cavill as Clark Kent and Superman, reprising that role once again. I thought he did a pretty okay job. The gal who was Israeli, she did the best she could. It wasn't the greatest performance, but it was pretty decent, considering with what she had to work with. The special effects were just... And Doomsday in the comics, he killed Superman after the Justice League was founded. So for those of you who are comic book fans and had seen the movie, you notice that the movie ain't playing much anymore. It's not that popular. So it lasted like a few weeks in the movie theater, and my pal, my best friend, and I went to see it. So in any event, that's exactly what happened, and I just wanted to let everybody know what's going on and what I have been doing, and now, a lot more stuff will be coming up as time permits. as time as time permits. If anybody got any questions, anybody wants to ask me something, go right ahead and shoot. Tell me. I want to hear from you. So, what are your thoughts on what's going on with Michigan and the presidential race, and what interesting movies have you seen as of recent? So, go for it. And that's another question by itself. So, but let me know. I'm interested in hearing from you guys. So, this is my time. This is my special times. So there you go. And tell me, what's the main focus on Macomb County? Well, that's a good question, Derek. Bud. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bring a lot more activism to the local party. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a different choice of venue for us to meet because everybody had been meeting in Sterling Heights, and the last time I tried to go there, I got lost a little bit, and I saw where they were at. That's one focus I want to do, but if I have to, then I'll stick with what we have as a last resort, that is. And also, I want to come up with, monthly meetings. Would meet once a month on Wednesdays. And I want to see, like, the third week of Wednesday. I want to get people to run for office at the local level, whether it's county clerk, mayor pro tempore or something like that, city councilman, whether it's road commission or Macomb County Commissioner, or I don't care if it's the mayor of New Baltimore or something. Something that stands out. Those are considered to be nonpartisan races, but people can still know that you're still a libertarian and you're still fighting for, dealing with services that are more localized than, say, looking to the state for funding and whatnot. We need more accountability going on at the Macomb County level because it's the same old crap, and we're still paying into the system of the roads and everything. The condition of the roads have gotten worse over time, and they've got nothing to show for it. So I want more people to get involved, and that's the whole focus. The focus is to let people know that you own yourself, that you are your own individual, that you reject this collectivist notion of a social contract, which is something I think that people should, be aware of. You weren't born. How can a baby sign a contract if it doesn't understand what they're signing? So, but as long as the government's involved in a lot of these services, there should be competition, real marketized, which is sort of like privatized, but real privatization. There should be competition between government services and private services, and we'll see which services are doing the best. That way the government won't have the monopoly over it. Typically, government has a monopoly on just about everything when it comes to road repairs and whatnot. So if we can get our tax dollars worth and everything, the more the merrier. I will be saying, for public office, and here's the thing, folks, I'm going to let you in. I'm sort of hinting at it. I'm planning this ahead. I'm looking into the possibility, and I mean this, I'm looking into the possibility of running for governor as a libertarian in the state of Michigan. If I can run for governor and get a lot of libertarians on board, and we need to do something about this state. We need to, I'm coming up with a plan that will revitalize the state of Michigan. the film tax credit system where we can actually cut taxes for the film industry and for all industries, a tax incentive system for all industries, including film, not just film, and bring back making movies to the state of Michigan. Offer these services in such a way that most people never thought of. So if we can do that, also we need to think about environmental pollution that's happened in the state. Remember, people, the Flint fiasco? We need to do something about that. Governor Snyder refuses to be held accountable for that. So are the Democrats. So are the Democratic candidates who will eventually be appearing on the ballot in 2018. So we got our work cut out for us, and we need to have people on our side, and we need to do something, anything. So it's going to be interesting to see how many people are listening, how many people are going to be doing lots of stuff and everything. We're going to be talking about marijuana legalization. We're going to have dispensaries, just like out in California, but we need to have an economic boom. Victimless crimes like prostitution should be legalized here in the state. I'll be, talking about that. We need prison reform. We need criminal justice reform. People who were, people who learned that, we need to do something about our prison justice system because it's becoming so expensive to house prisoners. We need to do these sort of things, and we need to marketize the prisons. Let's Walmart the prisons. Like I usually like to say, just like we need a Walmart education, we need a Walmart prisons. We need Walmart our education system, which is basically, offer more private alternatives and more homeschooling and unschooling alternatives to people here in the state of Michigan. We need to transform this state into a carbon copy of New Hampshire and compete with New Hampshire, because a number of Michiganders did leave for New Hampshire because it is a much lesser tax state, and other states that tax a hell of a lot less than we have been doing. So we need to do that. We need to, we could do something like, say, an education savings account for people who want to go to college. You want education, any money that you make, you put it into a savings account and you use that money for education expenses. And it will only be taken out. It will be legally allowed only to be taken out for education expenses. You want if you want, say, let's say we need an economic boom here. We need to cut taxes and regulations and we need to eliminate a lot of regulations and a lot of taxes. We could get rid of the sales tax. We could get rid of the state income tax and deal with the part-time legislature. We could go the New Hampshire way. The only thing is, if we still want to retain some of the services, that would mean a bump in the property taxes. I don't know if people would be on board with that. But just like in New Hampshire, they had they don't have a state income tax, they don't have a state sales tax, but they do have high property taxes. So that would be one option there. So that's one area they could think of. And this is why I think people would benefit. We need to do something about the primary schools, help kids get out of crappy schools. if you don't, if you want better schools, let your make it legal, and don't stop kids from being homeschooled if they feel that's the best alternative. Parents need to be involved, and kids are the real customers in the school, not the teachers when they get their 3 months off, not the and all that, because the schools are going downhill. So we need to do something about that. We need to also need to eliminate the practice of forced jury duty and let all voluntary jury duties. Bring in jury nullification, which is an idea that I think one website, I can't think of the name of it right now, but jury nullification is an idea where the judge says you must rule on it not because of the evidence, not because of you might, despite what the judge says, well, you must rule only based on the evidence, and if the evidence is tainted or whatever, or if the evidence doesn't show that the person is guilty of a victimless crime, then the jury should have the power to say, hell no, judge, we're not going to convict that person. We're going to make him, we're going to render the verdict of not guilty. A lot of different stuff that we can do at the state and local level. We need to get the state out. We need to get Washington out of the ball game and let us take over from there. For those in the White House, whoever is in the White House, and I hope Austin gets in, but I'm telling you right now, we need to get out of the UN. The UN, we should not be following the dictates of the UN, and we should not be dictating what the UN should be doing. We need to get out of it. The UN is a cancer. It's a poison pill. Let's get out of it. We need to protect the Second Amendment here in the state of Michigan. The Second Amendment wasn't initiated for the idea of duck hunting or hunting deer or geese hunting or whatever. It's to protect foreign threats and whatnot. Also domestic threats as well. And that's why the Second Amendment was formed, to protect ourselves from government thugs, foreign or domestic. And when we say it is our constitutional duty to protect the Constitution from all enemies, foreign and domestic, that's what is usually implied. Foreign enemies being our government and foreign governments, foreign and domestic. And yeah, that's what we do. So that's what's going on here. And anybody else has any other questions? I'm going to be wrapping up in a second here. So it's been going over an hour and 13 minutes. Anybody else? Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? We're getting 4 viewers, 3 viewers. That's the live portion of the live stream. But I wonder actual people who are listening to the live stream or watching it. So that should be an interesting thing. So, in any event, we'll be doing a lot of interesting stuff together. So, all right, guys. By the way, just so you know, before I go here, My blog is www.toddandrewbarnett.com. That's TODDANDREWBARNETT.com. It's my blog opinion site. I'm going to be writing essays. I'm going to have my own store constructed very soon. A lot of things are under construction right now. I've been sort of slacking off on it, but please, if you would like to help out with donations and everything, I urge you to donate to my site. Please, if you want more features, if you want like a chat thingy or a forum or whatever, that would be great. I would love to see that for my blog. So go for it. So that being said, and there we have it, folks. So again, I did plug my website. It's at www.toddandrewbarnett.com. And enjoy the site. It will be updated. I'm going to be putting up more articles than ever. If anybody wants to write a guest piece for the site, you just give me an idea, and there we have it. So, all right. Take it easy, everybody. See ya.